Hello students, welcome to the lecture on management, a new enterprise, and after this lecture we will be able to learn the following objectives. Understand how to start a new business, explain the human resource management in a new enterprise, define the small and medium-sized enterprises, explain the finance for small and medium-sized enterprise development, define the production and operation management in a new enterprise. Understand the enterprise marketing management. Let's start with the introduction. Small business and entrepreneurship form an integral part of a healthy national economy. In recent years, various factors such as the impact of privatization and specialization in industry and corporate restructuring and downsizing as influenced by new management theories. At the same time, new opportunities for such companies are seen in the wooing of small business into exporting and international trade and the creative efforts of major corporations in the area of business community development. Have you ever thought of starting a new business? Let us understand the concept of starting a new business. Owning a business means working flexible hours, not being beholden to anyone, having the ability to make one's own decision, and in fact being completely independent. Unfortunately, the harsh realities of commercial enterprise suggest otherwise. Equally as misguided is the notion that because life has not quite turned out the way one had hoped. This line of thinking also shows a lack of basic business understanding. What is needed to be successful in business, say many experienced entrepreneurs, apart from a sound idea and a combination of good reason, is a desire to set out into the unknown with the heart of an impatient explorer and the mind of a business contractor. In addition, entrepreneurs must understand that a journey laced with risk and laden with hard work, sacrifice and setbacks is an accurate depiction of what lies ahead. Good reason for thinking about starting a business. A number of professionals suggest that people who are interested in starting their own business should begin the entrepreneurship process fueled by several of the following good reasons rather than one or two. A desire to be one's own boss and handle more responsibility, love of difficult challenges, the seeking of career independence as well as more control over life and its direction, the invention, development or innovation of a new product or service. A major change has occurred in the candidate's life. A current job is going nowhere, money has suddenly become available, and opportunity has made itself known.
There are 10 questions to consider when you're starting a new business. I wrote these out a long time ago, and I've used them as the basis for every business plan I've ever written. So let's go through them together now. Number 1, what is the product or service? Be able to describe this in a brief paragraph. Number 2, what is its unique value proposition? Basically, what makes your product or service different or better than anyone else's product or service? Number 3, what is the market opportunity? How many total dollars are spent into your product or service a year, and what does the competition look like? Number 4, how do you make money? Basically, what's your revenue model? And be able to explain it so someone else gets it right away. Number 5, who is the management team? Who are the folks that you're working with, and what are their backgrounds such that they're uniquely qualified to bring this kind of business to life? Number 6, what is the strategy? What do you want to be when you grow up in 5 years from now? But also, what do you want to make sure to accomplish in the next 3, 6, 9, and 12 months? Number 7, how do you sell or market your product or service? Basically, how are we going to get customers? Number 8, how much capital do you need or intend to raise? So what are your expenses going to be over the first 6 months, 12 months of the business? And are you going to need to raise any money? And if so, how much specifically? Number 9, what are the projected financials of the company? So what do you intend to gross and net, and what are your expenses going to be over the course of the first year, 2 years, and 3 years? And finally, what's the valuation of your company? So if you were going to sell a portion of your company for a dollar amount, what would that be? If you consider those 10 questions and then write them down, you're going to have a basis of a great business plan, but also you're going to get your business off to a great start.
Poor reason for starting a business. Following is a list of poor incentives held by many prospective entrepreneurs as a reason to begin a business. The reason many experienced professionals consider these to be misleading motivators is because they are usually not enough to sustain the needs of a commercial enterprise. Desperation. While desperation can be a powerful stimulus, it also often leads to poor judgment, rash decision, and dangerous leaps into untested waters. There's nothing else to do. Feeling that no other options are available shows a lack of commitment and passion, the two most essential elements of every new business challenge. There's lots of money to be made. This is usually a pipe dream. Entrepreneurs must be realistic with their expectation and know the difference between making a one-time only profit, making a living, and daydreaming. Owning a business will make life easier. Unfortunately, having a business usually increases one's responsibility, which does not make life easier. When is the best time to start a new business venture? Questions about timing are difficult to answer when it comes to entrepreneurship. Some enthusiasts claim that there is no better time than now to own and run a business or launch a new product. But excitement and hope should not be confused with commitment. Simply put, if prospective entrepreneurs are not prepared to write down, research, and address exactly what it is they wish to do, what it involves, and how the process will be tackled, a procedure that could take 6 months or longer, they are probably not ready for business ownership. Just as important, critical outside obligation, that is the onset of medical treatment, college tuition payments, financial problems, unresolved crises, personal dilemmas, and so on, must be taken care of first to avoid distraction. The understanding and support of spouses and children should also enter into the equation because, as many experienced business owners say, most entrepreneurs do not see much of their loved ones during the first few years of a new business venture. Let us now discuss about human resource management. The recognition of the importance of human capital has led to an increasing flow of research on the management of human resources. Human resource management. Human resource management is about the management of an organization workforce. Managing a workforce, first of all, requires the presence of a workforce which calls for activities in the fields of recruitment, selection, appraisal, and compensation. Next, the workforce must be organized. Tasks and responsibilities must be determined and communicated to ensure that employees possess required knowledge and skills. Training and development activities can be carried out. Activity of human resource management. Currently, human resource management systems encompasses payroll, work time, appraisal performance, benefits administration, HR management information system, recruiting, training or learning management system, performance record, employee self-service.
When sporting teams and work teams have plans to improve themselves or simply have a vacancy, the coach or manager usually calls in a specialist to find new talents. In companies, that specialist is the HR or Human Resources Manager. HR staff kick into action and start the search for interested recruits. Recruiting is a huge part of making great teams. From the group of wannabes, HR staff use their knowledge and experience to find the best person for the job. HR managers are a vital link in the company's overall structure, making sure that the people match the company's purpose. But human resources staff do much more than find stars for the team. They provide expert advice to managers about how they can improve their team's performance and suggest training options to optimise staff potential. HR staff also monitor well-being, look after safety needs, and sometimes act as intermediaries. Both sides need HR when differences arise. And importantly, they make sure people get paid fairly. They then follow up to ensure when jobs change, so does the pay. Keeping capable staff saves time and money in the long run, so HR managers play a big part in staff retention. In a big company, helping people along a successful career path is part of this responsibility. HR managers can make a big difference when they connect the right people. They help shape the business by facilitating change. Then everyone benefits. HR experts are employed all over the world, which allows for great overseas employment opportunities. So in summing up, Human resources recruit team members, advise on team performance, oversee staff training options, monitor well-being, facilitate change, organise salary payments.
Personal management and HRM. Research on personal management dates back to the early decades of the 28th century. Between mid-century and the late 1970s, research primarily focused on the development of valid and fair personal management practices in large organizations. An extensive comparison between HRM and personal management is provided by Legge. Comparing normative models on HRM and personal management, she concludes that HRM and personal management have much in common since they both stress the importance of integrating personal HRM practices with organizational goals, identifying, assigning the right people to do the right jobs as an important means of integrating personal HRM practice with organizational goals, emphasize the importance of individuals developing their abilities for their own personal satisfaction to make their best contribution to organizational success. Vest personal HRM firmly in line management. Differences between normative models of HRM and personal management are more those of a meaning and emphasis than of substance. The real difference between HRM and personal management may be identified as not what it is, but who is saying it. Another distinction between HRM and personal management is their appreciation of the role of employees. Objectives. The HRM studies not only differ in the underlying normative models, but also in the objective of their study. Three categories of general-leveled theories on HRM can be distinguished. Normative or prescriptive studies. These studies reflect the view either that a sufficient body of knowledge exists to provide a basis for prescribed best practice or that a set of values indicates best practice. Descriptive studies. These set out to describe the field in a comprehensive way. Conceptual or strategic studies. These studies focus on the relationship between HRM policy and practice and other variables. Resource-based perspective. The resource-based theory is based on the assumption that differences in physical, organization, and human resources between firms cause fundamental heterogeneity in their productive potential. Given this heterogeneity, the long-term competitiveness of a company depends upon the resources that not only differentiate it from its competitors, but are also durable and difficult to imitate and substitute. The resource-based approach stretches the need for a specific HRM strategy which seeks to achieve competitive advantage by increasing commitment and competence of the workforce. This would require a set of internally consistent HRM practices, or in other words, an internal fit of HRM practices. Behavioral perspective. The behavioral perspective on HRM can be defined as the use of personal practices as tools for shaping patterns of behavior that help to achieve organizational goals. Different goals and objectives require different strategies and behaviors, and therefore different HRM practices. This leads to a focus on an external fit, resulting in contingency theories on HRM. Personal economics. Both the resource-based and the behavioral perspective on HRM are grounded in theories on management and organizational behavior. In contrast, personal economics is grounded in economic theory and has been defined as the use of economics to understand the internal workings of the firm. Personal economics applies insights from other economic theories that deal with human capital and the relationship between employer and employee, such as human capital theory, contract theory, and principal or agent theory. The basic building block of personal economics is constraint maximization. Both employers and employees are assumed to be rational maximizing agents who want to maximize their profits and utility, where utility depends positively on wages and negativity on effort. HRM perspective. At first sight, the suggestions from the resource-based and the behavioral perspective seems to be inconsistent with each other. Where the resource-based perspective promotes an integral fit of HRM practices and provides a list of best practices, the behavioral approach favors an external fit and a contingency approach. according to which different HRM strategies will be optimal for different firms. These two approaches, however, may not be inconsistent with each other and could even reinforce each other. All else being equal, the use of high-performance work practices and good internal fit should lead to positive outcomes for all types of firms. The economics of small and medium-sized enterprises is a separate field of research. Two main arguments can be made, which together justify the specific attention for this subpopulation of private enterprises. The first is a quantitative argument. SMEs form a large and vital part of modern economies. The second argument is more qualitative. Despite the heterogeneous character of the SME sector, SMEs differ from large enterprises in many respects. An important source for lack of experience and limited capacity is a lag in manpower and management time. Most employers are taken up by day-to-day worries which follow from their participation in the production process. Also, small firm employers often do not have a formal management education, and the possibilities to gain management skills by cooperating with other managing employees are limited. Differences in goals and strategy will in turn affect other dimensions of organizational characteristics. Organizational culture. The dimension of organizational culture represents the underlying set of key values, beliefs, understanding, and norms shared by an organization workforce. These underlying values relate to ethical behavior, commitment to efficiency, or to colleagues, customers, or other stakeholders. An organization culture can be observed in its slogans, ceremonies, dress, and office layout. Especially in small firms, the culture will be determined by the values and norms of the business owners. These values and norms may influence not only the goal of the enterprise, but also the strategy on how to obtain that goal. Environment. Some argue that the main characteristic of SMEs beside their size is uncertainty. Uncertainty regarding internal activities and procedure is lower for small firm employers because it is easier to directly monitor the activities of most or all employees. The external uncertainty is, however, higher for small firms. This is a direct result of their lack of power at various marketplaces for labor, capital, and output. Let us now move further. Interest in the role of small and medium-sized enterprises, SMEs, in the development process continues to be in the forefront of policy debates in developing countries. The advantage claimed for SMEs are various, including the encouragement of entrepreneurship, the greater likelihood that SMEs will utilize labor-intensive technologies and thus have an immediate impact on employment generation. They can usually be established rapidly and put into operation to produce quick returns. SME development can encourage the process of both inter- and intra-regional decentralization, and they may well become a countervailing force against the economic power of larger enterprises. Staley and Morse identify a developmental approach to SME promotion which has as its objective the creation of economically viable enterprises which can stand on their own feet without perpetual subsidy and can make a positive contribution to the growth of real income and therefore to better living levels. This approach emphasizes the importance of efficiency in new SMEs. SME in low-income countries. The literature on low-income countries follow the same divide between studies that are concerned with external and internal factors that affect small and medium-sized enterprise development. The work on the internal workings of small and medium-sized enterprises was mainly concerned with the size of small firms and providing explanation for their growth. Staley and Morse examined the stages small firms pass through as an economy grows. They postulated several reasons why small firms in low-income countries initially grow rapidly before their share in total industrial activity begins to decline. Rapid growth of small firms could be explained where demand was rising as rural incomes were growing and where infrastructure costs still favored small firms locating near fragmented markets. Subcontracting and local assembly was common, as for example in varieties of machine shop activities, and where smaller firms produce a range of differentiated and innovative products serving small total markets. In low-income countries, work directed towards the internal workings of enterprises has been hampered by the lack of basic data on the management and characteristic of smaller firms. Production and operation management in a new enterprise. The essence of any business is to cater needs of customer by providing services and goods, and in process create value for customer and solve their problems. Production and operation management talks about applying business organization and management concepts in creation of goods and services. Production. Production is a scientific process which involves transformations of raw material input into desired product or services output by adding economic value. Production can broadly categorize into following based on technique. Production through separation. It involves a desired output is achieved through separation or extraction from raw materials. Production by modification or improvement. It involves change in chemical and mechanical parameters of the raw materials without altering physical attributes of the raw material. Production by assembly. Car production and computer are examples of production by assembly. Importance of production function and production management. Successful organizations have well-defined and efficient line function and support function. Production comes under the category of line function, which directly affects customer experience and thereby future of organization itself. Aim of production function is to add value to product or service which will create a strong and long-lasting customer relationship or association. An effective planning and control on production parameters to achieve or create value for customers is called production management. Operation management. As to deliver value for customer in products and services, it is essential for the company to do the following. Identify the customer needs and convert that into a specific product or service, numbers of products required for a specific period of time. Based on product requirement, do backward working to identify raw materials requirements. Engage internal and external vendors to create supply chain for raw materials and finished goods between vendor, production facility, customers. Production management versus operation management. A high-level comparison which distinct production and operation management can be done on following characteristic. Output. Production management deals with manufacturing of products like computer, car, etc. Usage of output. Products like computer or car are utilized over a period of time, whereas services need to be consumed immediately. Classification of work. To produce products like computer or car, more of capital equipment and less labor are required, while services require more labor and lesser capital equipment. Customer contact. There is no participation of customer during production, whereas for services, a constant contact with customer is required. So production management and operation management both are very essential in meeting objectives of an organization. So now moving to the last topic of this lecture. Do you know about enterprise marketing management? The term enterprise marketing management, also known as EMM or EMMP for platform, is relatively new. EMM consists of marketing technologies such as web analytics, campaign management, digital asset management, web content management, marketing resource management, marketing dashboards, lead management, event-driven marketing, predictive modeling, and more. While defined by most as a technological or set of technology solution, EMM is really a way of approaching marketing as an enterprise and putting all your marketing efforts under one cohesive set of objectives with systems that allow you to administrate and moderate for greater efficiency while being able to report and measure how effective every element is. Enterprise marketing. Management coupled with technology can help an organization better understanding how its marketing is working and allow for ever evolving changes to be made so the company can adapt with the market and grow with their customer. Enterprise relationship management in the global economy, competitive advantage is becoming more important than ever. Keeping this advantage requires organization to maintain extensive relationship with both customers and business partners. Enterprise relationship management is a business process that integrates information pertaining to customers, sales, employee, productivity, and market trends within a software application. Customers are the heart of making a business successful. Creating a business environment focused on customer service is an important element of enterprise relationship management. In ERM, software tracks all customer interaction. This includes purchasing, customer support, and customer complaints. This gives the organization critical information on customer trends. This ERM information provides the decision makers with data that can increase satisfaction and retention of customers to the brand. Warranty management is a good example of enterprise relationship management in practice. When a customer contacts an organization about a defect in a product, they typically call the customer support organization. Customer support then documents and tracks the product, the defect, and the customer who had the issue with the product. ERM will then create real-time information about products and customer satisfaction, which enables an organization to react quickly to defects and issues. Business Relationship Management (BRM) is the process of making relationships with business partners and customers to create a cohesive understanding of available technology and business needs. The primary goal in BRM is to maintain a good relationship between the customer and the software provider based on the demands of the business. Enterprise Relationship Management uses the information obtained from BRM to effectively monitor that the business needs are satisfied.
Consumers have gone digital. Navigating an online world saturated with email, display advertising, mobile applications, and social media, customers today enjoy unprecedented power. A dynamic network with billions of mobile phone connections empowers countless social media users who post millions of tweets every day. Consider this social media connectivity alongside the fact that 64% of consumers make a first purchase based on a digital experience, and you grasp how one customer's experience and ensuing tweet can champion a brand or sully a reputation with a single mouse click. Leaders in this new era will be those able to harness the unprecedented explosion of technology, transparency, and social interactions to create a competitive advantage. To achieve this, you need to bring science to the art of digital marketing, using analytic rigor and marketing automation to create a consistent and relevant experience for customers across channels and over time. The IBM Digital Marketing Optimization Solution makes this happen by bringing together customer profiles, web analytics, and marketing execution for unparalleled customer engagement. For better insight into what motivates individuals, the Digital Marketing Optimization Solution captures all of the digital interactions of your customers and prospects as they interact with your business. This includes your website, multiple ad networks, email, video, affiliate sites, social media, and more. The software then integrates this data with offline information to create a single comprehensive view of each visitor's behavior. IBM Digital Analytics incorporates this historical data automatically across the entire suite, including every application. As the customer profile of each visitor grows, you gain deeper insight to continually refine your marketing efforts. Using these customer profiles, IBM's digital analytics capabilities transform data into answers to increase the return on digital marketing dollars. These answers include out-of-the-box industry-specific reports and best practice recommendations, as well as advanced attribution and segmentation to transform insight into action. Marketers can then execute targeted display advertising, search campaigns, email, and product recommendations through online, social, and mobile channels. These coordinated actions ensure you maintain customer loyalty in the near and long term with personalized campaigns across digital channels. The IBM Digital Marketing Optimization Solution brings all of these capabilities together in a customer-centric solution, addressing a variety of business use cases such as obtaining actionable insights from your digital analytics, retargeting customers, executing effective advertising campaigns, and providing customers with compelling personalization. IBM can also help you optimize your mobile marketing and harness social media channels. The result is a marketing solution that enables you to continually create relevant and compelling experiences across digital channels to inspire and ensure the loyalty of your connected.
Now, in the end, let us summarize what we have learned in this chapter. Data is generally fetched from the HRs and timekeeping modules to calculate automatic deposit and manual check writing capabilities. The HRM is the organizational function that deals with issues related to people such as compensation, hiring, performance management, organization development, safety, wellness, benefits, employee motivation, communication, administration, and training. Maintaining a competitive advantage based on human resources requires a management of those human resources that ascertains that these resources stay competitive, difficult to imitate and to substitute. Organization employ activities that directly aim to improve commitment and satisfaction, either because job satisfaction is a goal in itself. The understanding and support of spouses and children also enter into the equation because, as many experienced business owners say, most entrepreneurs do not see much of their loved ones during the first few years of a new business venture.